It seems to work well.
Yeah.
No one
All
right.
better
hear us now.
Taylor's got the floor.
Yeah. Thank you guys for meeting with me today. I'm very excited to get into this material. So this book, Never Split the Difference, written by Chris Voss, who is the ex-FBI lead hostage negotiator. His first case was a New York bank robbery, in which he used some skills that he refers to as tactical empathy to increase his ability to win negotiations and hear people's perspectives so that he can create some empathy and use it tactfully. So that is the whole case of Never Split the Difference. He uses a situation in the book where he says a wife and a husband are arguing about what shoes the husband should wear to an interview. The wife wants him to wear brown shoes. He wants to wear black shoes. A splitting of the difference between one black shoe, one brown shoe, and nobody wins in that situation. So he says, never split the difference. So in the sequence of events when it comes to negotiating real estate, there's obviously lots of events that can happen, but for simplicity's sake, there is 5 that I've recognized. There's the gathering information, and this is when you're initially meeting somebody that you're going to be doing or thinking about doing a transaction with. You're going to be labeling that info that you gather from them and seeing how you can use it. And then you want to use the information to uncover their true motivation for the transaction, and that way you can win and they can win in like a win-win situation. Then you will introduce solutions that may or may not bring conflict, but until you reach a solution, there's no potential transaction. And of course, in order to do that, you want to present the benefits of that solution. So Chris Voss would say that you have to be a mirror in order to gather the information that will really utilize and be utilized best. And all that is really is having a conversation and just repeating the crucial 3 or 4 words of their sentence. Someone tells you, hey, I'm really wanting to sell my property because, I'm just tired of these tenants. And you're like, I'm tired of these tenants? Yeah, these tenants, they're really just, they suck, man. I hate them. They're the worst. Oh, they suck.
You hate them? They're the worst?
And they just tell you all this information, and you just keep going and just mirroring their words. And you can do that with your tone. You don't even have to necessarily use the words like, so pissed. You're what? You're mad? And so all of it really plays into the mirroring. So if you mirror somebody, they're going to automatically feel rapport with you and exchange information more easily. And then you're just going to go ahead and take that information and you're going to label it. And they're obviously going to talk about their pain with you. And you don't want to feel their pain because that's a little bit into the sympathy, and you don't want to sympathize with it. You want to empathize, so you want to label it. Like, it sounds like you're really frustrated with these tenants. And then they might go off and tell you some more things. And the better you are at mirroring and labeling their emotions and their information, the faster you're going to be able to uncover their true motivation. Because inside every single transaction, there's a black swan. And a black swan is the idea that, well, in a little bit of history, we used to, as a human collective, think that all swans were white until we traveled to Australia in the 15th century, and we found that there was a black swan, and it ruined our entire concept that all swans are white. And every transaction has something similar, that there's a piece of information, if not more, or like 3 or 4 pieces of information that totally change the whole landscape of the transaction. And you need to find these pieces of information because in every single transaction, there's incentives to the other party that may or may not be monetary, and you need to uncover those so that the other person feels like they're getting what they want because they're obviously doing something for their true motivation, and that is the black swan. And after you introduce those solutions, you have to be careful of people just telling you yes, because there's different types of yeses. Like, I told my mom yes many times when I never intended to do whatever I was intending, or what I told her was, hey, will you clean your room? Yes. Like, no, I wasn't going to clean my room. So it's actually learning to be okay with no and get to know so that you have some conflict, and that way you can work through those solutions. Because if they're just saying yes, well, they might not intend to actually follow through with their yes. So it's once again being a mirror and labeling it so that you make them feel comfortable to say no, and then you can understand more of the motivation going forward. And then after you present the solutions, you want to present the solutions in a way that they say that's right. Because if you ever resonate with something, like you're watching TV and people are watching the political debates that are going on right now, and they bring up a strong talking point, you're in the same room as your mom and she sees it and she's like, that's right. She gets all fired up because she really agrees with it. People don't say yes or yeah or sure or you're right. No, you're right is just a segue to get you to stop talking so that they can just move forward. But when they say that's right, that's something that they agree with. And all of these things are, instruments, and you have to conduct this symphony in a way that they all play together and will allow each party to come to an agreement that works and that they feel works for one another. And then after all of those things come together, assume the close, and that's the deal.
Okay, love it.
That was
That
great.
boy. That was awesome.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the book?
It's 9 out of 10. It's a great book.
Did you feel it was a lot of good information?
Yeah, I've gone through the book probably 11 times.
Oh, wow.
So it's you got to read it twice. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Great work. Cool. You guys got any questions?
You think it resonates with real estate?
Yeah,
Entirely?
actually, Chris Voss was interviewed on the Bigger Pockets podcast.
Oh, really?
Episode 260, either 259 or 260, but that's a great.
Listen, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Cool.
Nice.